Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is The Curse of Nineveh. It was written by Mike Mason, Mark Latham, Scott Dorward, and Paul Fricker, and it's available at the Chaosium website. I'm the GM, and this is episode 12. Since we were right in the middle of a fight last week, we will simply pick up where we left off. So without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. All right, as I recall, Cyrus, Felix had thrown his jacket over the tablets to get a better grip on them and pull them down. Cyrus, you have a hold of them, and the shadow is pulling you towards the stairs. Vadim, you were trying to open up windows. Is that correct? Yeah. And Reginald and Fuller, what do you recall you were up to?
I had followed Felix's clever idea and doffed my coat to throw it over the tablet.
Okay.
Whoever of us is largest, and I'm not a very large gentleman, should perhaps try to grab a hold of Cyrus again, as earlier was attempted, before he's pulled too far away. And if we can pull the tablet in the opposite direction that the Phantom is pulling Cyrus, we might be able to attenuate him.
I'll grab a hold of the jacket and help pull it.
And I think I was saying, don't open the windows. It'll give him an escape.
You can go through walls, though.
Not with the tablets.
Well,
no, I was opening up curtains, not the windows themselves. Just bringing in light.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's have Fuller and Reginald do brawl. You're trying to grapple.
Brawl.
Yeah. And Cyrus, you can do a luck roll. Wow. And Felix and Vadim. Well, Vadim, you're opening the curtains. Felix, what are you up to?
I've got my jacket over the tablet.
Oh, that's right.
I'm trying to pull him back into that. We may need to pull him back into where we just let him out of and get that door shut, because those windows aren't big enough for those tablets to go out of. So if we can get him back in that room, we're going to be okay.
44.
I did a 15, but I only have a 25, so it's just a regular success.
Yeah, I similarly, I did a 16, surprisingly.
Okay.
So we both brawled well.
And Cyrus, you passed?
Yeah.
All right.
44.
So as it is sort of dragging you forward with some pretty serious strength behind it, he pulls you to the railing, Cyrus, and you manage to use the railing to lever yourself so that he can't pull you any farther. Felix, you've got firm grip on the coat, and the rest of you are helping. Vadim is throwing open the windows, and the light is flooding in. And as this happens, you can see this thing. It's almost like a black sheet, the way it appears to you at this point. It doesn't have there's no light reflecting off of it, but it seems like a shadow where a shadow shouldn't be. And you can see that it is tattered and torn, so to speak. And it's letting out shrieks of anger. It's, let them go. I must have the tablets in English. But as you get to this position, I'd say that you wrench them out of his hands. And for a moment, the shadow sort of moves away from you. But then it immediately comes flying back and attacks Vadim. Well, it sees Vadim opening the windows, and it just goes to attack him with its fists.
Gonna dodge if possible.
All right. Just tell me the level of success. On your dodge.
Didn't make it.
Okay, it got a hard. So it hits you, with a powerful blow, like somebody punching you in the face, which knocks you sprawling. Do 1d3 damage. It then immediately comes flying back around. It almost looks like it's flying through the room, but it's sort of moving around the walls as if it were two-dimensional. And let's see who's left. It's immediately. Well, what are you guys doing? You have one round while this is happening to Vadim.
Let's get the tablets separate from each other. So Cyrus go one way and Felix another.
What was the weather like outside? It's daytime. It's sunny. Well, I know it's not always too sunny in London.
It's overcast. It's bright, but it's overcast.
Define what you mean by two-dimensional. Would you say that it's like projected onto the wall?
It looks that way, but there are moments when it reaches out from any surface as if it were just a sheet. I
think that Vadim's having screamed out that if we can separate the tablets, he can't get them both at least. I'm going to continue with bringing light into the room in whatever way possible.
If I could grab this around my chest and run outside with it into the light, as much light as I can. In fact, is there still a shirt or a jacket on that?
You've got it wrapped in your jacket.
I want to try and wrap the sleeves around it so I have an anchor point on it too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like just.
I'm going to say if you're going to try to run outside, if that's your intention, and try to sort of tie it up in the jacket, I'll say you can do those at the same time, but it's going to take you around to get down the stairs, and then around to get across the room, and around to get out. So we'll say that you're running down the stairs with it. Who has the other tablet? Felix?
I'd take it back into the room where we had originally let him out.
Okay.
And I tell these guys, if he follows me in, shut the doors with me in here. Lock him in. And hopefully they hear me in all of our mayhem.
Okay. Fuller, where are you? Are you now standing at the top of the stairs and Fuller?
Yes, I'm at the top of the. I'm at the top of the stairs.
Okay. The thing goes for where Reginald is standing. So it sees you standing there, and you see it flying towards you with its fists, like it's about to hit you. So what do you do?
Have I gotten any curtains yet?
Sure. There's an upstairs one down the hall. We'll say that you're standing right in front of it as it's coming at you.
But apparently light doesn't provide me any protection, so I'm just going to dodge.
Okay.
Which I have a mere 30. Yeah, I could not get out of the way.
Okay. However, it got a 92.
Okay.
So it basically
is great.
You see its fist coming, and its fist punches the wall, cracks through the plaster, and damages it. And as that happens, it's standing literally right in front of the window with the light coming in, and it doesn't seem to be affected at all.
So it's just a dark place in the light, and it doesn't cast a shadow.
Correct.
Did the tatters in its form stand out differently when it's in direct light like this?
Not really, but you can see that it's not solid. And it's acting. Everything that it's doing is acting in an extremely violent manner. And all this while it keeps yelling, "Give me the tablets! Give them to me!"
Does the fist on the wall seem to cause it any pause?
Not really.
Or is it just like pow? Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna just explain. We'd like to bring you back to mortal form. Let us help you.
Do a persuade roll.
There was very little likelihood, and I did not succeed.
Well, it yells, "Liar!" And it immediately flies towards you once again as you're standing there, since you're the closest one.
I throw myself to the floor. Geez, a 14. Very lucky.
That's better than my roll. So once again, it misses you. It swings right over your head. Maybe it knocks something off a picture off the wall or something like that. All right. Fuller, you're standing there watching this. What do you do?
We can't grab a hold of it. It's not corporeal.
Correct.
Damn, I don't really know what else to do. I just go follow Cyrus. Try to catch up with Cyrus.
Okay. Cyrus, you reach the bottom of the stairs and you're heading towards the door. But the thing is busy fighting everyone else, so it's not heading for you. You'll reach the door on the next round.
Okay.
Vadim, you're recovering. Felix, you've pulled the shirt, the jacket with the tablet into the room, and have you closed the door, or are you still watching? The thing hasn't quite noticed. It's been fighting with Reginald.
And since he hasn't noticed, I'm looking around to find anything else that looks similar to that tablet. Like, just, it can be something, a little small clay jar or something that's going to sound terrible when it's broken.
Yeah, I mean, Lady Nichols has other things in there.
All right, I'm going to grab one of her other things that's very breakable and will make a nice, good sound.
Okay.
And what I'm going to try to do is make him think that I'm going to break the tablet and then break whatever the other thing is that I have.
Okay.
So not only do I have a threat, but then I actually have an action. He has a consequence, and he'll think he has. You can't put a threat if there's no consequence. Then it's not a threat. It's just talking shit.
Okay. So you see the thing fighting with Reginald, and so tell me exactly what you do then. You found something that looks like, let's say it's another tablet. You're pretty sure it's just one of those like washing bills in uniform.
I'm going to swap them.
Okay.
I'm going to put the laundry list is going in my jacket now. The other one is just going to sit plain sight wherever the other one was.
Okay.
Only upside, I'm guessing that one side is probably engraved, the other side is smooth.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe.
So
Sounds good.
I'll put it smooth side up so it's not obvious that the thing's sitting right there.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keep, as long as he didn't see me do it, I can sleight of hand if you'd like. I figured since he was busy with...
He didn't see it.
Cool.
I'll say it's fine.
So I gave him the switcheroo. I don't know how much more I can do in one turn.
Well,
I don't want to overstep.
You're doing this while all this, everything's going on at the same time. He got an 88, so he still hasn't noticed you doing this. Cyrus, you've reached the door. Vadim, you've recovered and you see what's going on upstairs, and you saw Cyrus run out the door. What do you do?
I'm gonna go over to Felix and kind of be at his side to help him out with anything there.
Okay, so you're going to go up the stairs and into the room where Felix is? That's quite a ways to go. That'll take you around at least.
Yeah.
To get up there.
Because if Fuller's with Cyrus, then Felix is may need some assistance.
Okay. Reginald, what do you want to try something, or do you want to do something? The thing seems to be trying to get its wrath out on you.
Indeed. And the light from outside didn't provide any protection for me, but
No.
it does seem like it's an effective distraction, and I like the idea that it's paying attention to me. I don't think, persuasion is not my strong suit, even if I'm in earnest. But I guess I'm gonna effectively push the roll. I'm gonna say again. The inscription says, "This condition will drive you mad. We want to bring you back, man. Listen to us. Let us help you." And I sort of will make that. I'll fail that persuade roll, assuming that that's what is called for. Yes, I have very little likelihood of making it. And I guess the push is to say, and if you don't let us help you, we'll just smash them to bits.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Go ahead and do your push if you really want to.
Yeah, that's 31, which is pretty good for my persuade, but too much luck to spend, I think. Oh, yeah, you can't spend on push anyway.
Right.
So he doesn't buy it. I mean it, though.
So it's a fail on your push?
I'm afraid
right.
so.
He flies forward screaming, "Liar!" And he wraps his hands around your neck and begins to squeeze.
Do I catch this?
What's that?
Do I catch him trying to go and strangle?
You're halfway up the stairs.
Okay, if I happen to catch him actually really going for the strangle, I'm going to run down and try and get its attention. Hey, you! Over here!
It doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you at all. It's just
Now, as the shadow is clutching its nebulous limbs around me, obviously those hands feel solid.
right.
Nothing else does as I flail around. I just wispy.
Correct.
So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna sort of press myself. I'm gonna clutch them as best I can and pull.
Okay.
I'm not very strong. And push the shadow into the light as much as possible, because I still have this idea that it can be dispelled if there's enough luminescence.
It feels very strong. It feels when you try to do this to get this from grabbing you, it's like you're feeling slippery. It's like there's nothing quite there except the force itself on your neck. And it definitely feels like a man's got his hands around your neck and he's pressing.
But there are no fingers to grab.
Right. It's like it's oily, slippery nothing. Thick air, it feels like. And he's pretty much choking you. So you're not being able to breathe at this point. Felix, you see this happening. What do you do?
It may be a mistake, but that's what we do. I forget the trickery. I'm going back into the room. I'm going to grab the actual real tablet.
Okay.
I want to break it lengthwise and then across into 4 squares.
Okay. It's pretty substantial. You'd have to try to smash it on something.
It's
door
stone.
frame.
It's stone, so it would break fairly clean.
Probably. It's actually like clay, but it's
Perfect.
pretty thick.
Okay. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm breaking it in quarters.
All right. Well, try let's say a strength roll and a luck roll. Yeah.
All right, I'll do strength first. That is a 80. That's an 86. Oh no!
All right. So you bang it on the door, and nothing happens.
Does it get his attention?
Yeah, it gets his attention, and it lets go of Reginald and comes flying towards you, going, "What are you doing?"
If you're
So
not
now
gonna, if you're just gonna fight all over the place, then we're gonna bust them apart.
Oh well, by the time you could say anything, it would be on top of you. But you've got a second to do something if you want to try it.
All right. As it's and he's flying, and he
Right.
flies. Reginald, and I air hockey puck it over to Reginald across the floor, under his feet. Basic keep away.
All right, do a luck roll.
Now that one's a 13.
Okay,
And-
that's better than his. So it slides under and it slides to Reginald.
Of course, I'm still seeing spots, but I am conveniently right in front of a window. So I'll just grab the thing and break a pane with it. It might not break over his knee, but it'll break if it falls a story or two into a million pieces. Grab me and it drops.
Vadim, what are you doing? You're muted.
Getting out of the way because all this is going on, and I have puck tablets all around me, so I'm getting out of the way and heading towards Reginald down the stairs.
All right. The thing turns immediately, and it is heading straight for you, Reginald, once again. It'll be there in a split second.
I'm going to try and block it if I can. Just kind of stop its flow.
Nothing happens. It's almost as if it passes through you. And Reginald, what do you do?
Split second decision. Drop it or try to smash it in its face. Its faceless face. Fling.
Okay.
The Brotherhood are not going to be happy.
You fling it out the window. However, the thing just flows like lightning out the window, and you never hear a crash. Now we'll jump to what was that, David?
Nothing. I've got a bit of cut on my arm, and nothing else.
Cyrus, you're running down the street.
Well, I'm looking for a cab.
Yeah, there's cabs all over the place.
Jump in one and tell him to bring me to the Wentworth Club. If
All
Fuller's right there, I'll let him jump in too. But if I don't see him, I'm just thinking to get this away.
You see Fuller, 20 feet behind you running.
I wait. If it's only going to be a couple seconds, let him jump in and then take off. And I hand the guy, I throw him whatever, a handful of dollars. Now go.
All right. So the two of you head towards the Wentworth Club. The three of you who are left in the house, it's mayhem. Obviously, it's like it's been ransacked almost at this point. Lady Isabella has run. Her manservant has gone with her. And everything is just eerily quiet now at this point, with smashed glass on the floor. And
I'm just slumping down because this is like real big exertion for me. It's like,
so,
Gentlemen, I think we did what we could. Let's clean the place up. Of course, I'm going to look at the library and things on the way. Let's clean the place up and lock it behind us. I assume that that damned thing is on its way to catch Cyrus, wherever he went.
Well, if I know Cyrus, he went back to the club. But I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm going to say it real quiet in case the shadow guy is around.
Yeah, that it certainly isn't diminished in physical potency by being impossible to touch. I wonder if that gets stronger over time, and I wonder how mad it's gotten. Yes, well, let's look for a car.
Okay.
It-
Mine's outside.
Even in its shadow form, it seemed incredibly desperate. You know.
Yeah, it looked a little broken. Did you see that?
I did.
I wish we could make it listen to us.
Where does a shadow go if he's got something that he wants to? If I was a shadow, I try to think like a shadow. A lot of times I try to put myself in their shoes, shadow shoes. And where would you take something that you stole from the real world? You can't just float around with it all day because it's in your hands. It's real. So what would you do with it?
At one point, it had a human, I think.
If we could go there while he's chasing Cyrus, if he's chasing
interesting
Cyrus.
idea. What's our best hypothesis about who the inadvertent transmogrified shadow could be? It's not Teddy.
Let's see.
That gentleman read something or other. I do not remember. But I would say that's probably where he's gone back. And if he's got tablet there, he's got way of becoming solid. If it is copy of same tablet that Cyrus and Fuller have, he's probably going home to get solid. And we might be able to catch him there.
Is it Jasper?
No, not Jasper. It was like I'm still trying to get my head about me. It was like
was it Bolifius?
Bolifius, that's it.
Bolifius,
yes.
Right.
Bolifius Ginger.
Red Ginger. Yes.
Quite.
Mr. Ginger.
Yes, I think trying to track down that layer might be significantly useful.
But significantly dangerous, because even if he does become solid, he might be still mad and could be a threat.
How far is Ladbroke Square from here?
30 minutes or so.
By foot or by incredibly nice town car?
Probably by town car.
Okay.
It's a very nice area. Just I'll go ahead and I'll remind you at this point that Teddy said that he sold the first 2 tablets to Bolifius Ginger. And that was, in fact, he gave you some dates. That was, in fact, about 2 weeks before the first really bad stuff started to happen to people.
Yes, I think that's an excellent way to continue.
And I think when we were just starting this big battle, I actually called out the name Bolifius, and it paused.
Indeed.
It did seem to respond, yes.
So if it's not him, he knows the name, or maybe he just thought it was a very odd name.
But his accent didn't seem very posh.
Well, that's me. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, he was desperate, so you can't really tell how a desperate man actually speaks.
Right.
Decorum.
Yes, Felix, let's off to Ladbroke right away and see if we can what do they say in America? Head him off at the pass.
Oh, very Western of you. Very Western. Or from here, I guess it would be Eastern. No, it's Western. Got it.
They're still cold Westerns.
He's Old West.
All right.
Cowboys and Indians and stuff. Yeah.
Cyrus and Fuller, you arrive back at the Wentworth Club. Exhausted, tired, and in possession
Bloody.
of one of the tablets.
I got a huge
Yeah, you
gash
got a
on my
gash.
head. I want to. Don't we have some sort of like little safes in the club that people can leave effects in or something? I think we left the golden statue there once for overnight.
Yeah, okay. I'll accept that. Sure.
I'll put it in there, lock it in, keep only me and Fuller with the combination. I'm assuming you could switch the combinations. It's like one of the, I don't know.
Probably a
Um,
key
Like
lock.
in a hotel, you have the safe, you set your
It's
combination.
probably
And
a key lock.
key lock. Okay, whatever.
So you just get
And
the key from Sykes, and
then I want to seek some first aid.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm do some first aid on Cyrus here.
okay. We'll say that you do that. You patch yourself up. You don't seem to have been followed. And the three of you, are you going to go to Bolethius's house?
Well, I figured if he couldn't get it out of a window of that house, he's not getting it out of a safe. So,
So do Fuller and Cyrus, do you want to do anything else?
well, I don't know where they went. So I'm hoping to get a phone call at the club. If not, I would hope that they just showed up back here, unless something terrible happened.
How would you compare the time it took for those gentlemen to get to the club to us racing off to Ginger's house?
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track of time, but I thought that maybe I said it took you half an hour to get to.
That's what. Yeah, that's what.
So yeah, once again, about a half an hour. We'll say it's like a triangle.
Now, if I don't hear from them in an hour, I'm gonna worry, get in the cab, and go back to the lady's house. Is what I would do, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're dead on the floor then. So
Providing that we make it all the way to Ginger's home, which I look forward to hearing about the appearance of. Are there public payphones at this point?
No.
Maybe.
There might be
There
call
are.
boxes.
Yeah, they're in
They're police
they're
call
in call
boxes for
boxes.
sure.
Well, they're public call boxes because the public call boxes are red. Police call boxes are blue.
Right. So yes, let's not knowing that they went to the club, it still makes sense that that's the only place we can leave a message for one another.
Okay.
So I will phone and ask Sykes if they are present, and if not, leave a message for their respective boxes saying that we have proceeded to the presumptive lair of our shadow friend.
Okay.
And
So-
we hope to hear from them.
All right. So I will say that considering that you had your encounter, you walked out and found a phone and left a message with Sykes, they would still be traveling in the cab at that point. So when Cyrus and Fuller walk into the club, Sykes has a message for you.
all right.
And it's basically saying what Reginald just said.
So as soon as I get patched up, 10 minutes, I guess. Fuller, I have to go. You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, I appreciate the patchwork. What do I put 1 hit point back?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, I'm at 10 hit points. I'm down 2. All right, so I guess we'll just cab it over there.
Okay. So just for the sake of the story, you guys all arrived pretty much at the same time. And you're all standing outside of his place. It's a very nice place. It's 3 stories tall. It's well appointed. There's a terrace on the second level. It overlooks a rectangle of parkland. The house is dark. There are no signs of life inside. What you guys do?
I'm glad you caught up. You got Sykes' message, I presume.
Yes.
Brilliant. And the tablet, it's well.
It's locked in, you know where.
Very good. The house itself, how does it look? It looks, I mean, it's stately, but does it look dilapidated? Or the windows open or
It looks
closed?
in very good condition. All the windows are closed. The curtains are all drawn.
Is there a driveway?
Yes, small one.
A garage?
No.
No vehicle?
There is a vehicle.
There is a vehicle. Is it an expensive one?
Yeah, I'll say yeah, it would be an expensive one.
You know, I don't know what this means, but ask yourself this. Why are all the windows closed?
Not hard.
Because to make a shadow, you need light. There's no shadows in the dark.
You only need a candle.
Yeah, and this thing seems to be made of shadow, but not trapped in. I think it could, I mean, it had no trouble attacking me in direct light.
I don't think I agree. I don't think light affects these.
It might dislike it. I mean, it attacked you when you opened windows.
Yes.
That could have just been, I mean, he's mad, the poor fellow.
Tom, it didn't have to travel within shadows as it moved, right? It moved freely, correct?
Correct. However, in your case, it wasn't trying to hide. But if it actually did move into the shadows, you wouldn't be able to see it at all.
Okay.
It would be in.
No, the best place to fight the thing would be on a sunny beach, because
Right.
it would have no place to slip into. So,
You guys wanna
any
knock?
ideas about how to breach this palace?
Before we begin, I want to bring to attention, we do have scroll spell that will keep this thing at bay. I'm not too keen on trying to use it, but after what we experienced, if we're going to do anything for this gentleman, we might need to keep him trapped.
I
We
don't
need
think-
a bird.
I don't think it's going to be helpful.
We need
I
birds.
don't either, but at the same time, I bring it forth because we did get, well, let's say we did have trouble.
Well, we can trap him in a circle. That's not a hard part. But having someone concentrate to keep the spell going, it kind of defeats the purpose of the spell, because then you tie up yourself and you won't be able to get distance between you and it. You're just going to be right there until you get distracted or something.
Let's see if this thing actually works.
Well, first, I think if we find a way to destroy it, we need to trap it in the circle and then destroy it. But without
Right.
knowing how to destroy it, and then we still need to kill a big black bird or something, don't we?
Yeah.
Birds' blood
Yes,
is.
I
Crows
wouldn't.
are everywhere.
I would personally not want to destroy these. If this is trapped person, I'd like to get him back if we can. He might
Well,
not be
this-
all there, but
This trapped person is a murderer at this point, and would be murderer many times over.
What
The
about the
shot-
guy in the street?
Right now, I care about us. If he has to go, he's got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's beating and choking and killing people. So I have no sympathy for him.
My neck isn't quite visibly bruising yet, but I feel like you'll see tomorrow that he was within moments of throttling me to death. So I have little compunction. I wonder what size of a circle it could be, since if we assume that, for example, he's in this home, could we be a circle around the block? In which case, it would probably be very hard for him to identify all of the persons that were engaged in it. And I don't, I respect the Corvids, but I would kill one rather than kill several humans or let him kill many more.
The problem with that is, let's say it worked. Let's say you drew a circle around his house. One of us sits there and concentrate on the spell. That means to get to him, the rest of us have to enter the circle.
Well, I still think it's a moot point until we know how to destroy him. We can keep him captive for a short period, but what purpose, to what end? How do you destroy a shadow?
I have question as well that the only one here who can somewhat read tablet is Reginald, and even then it's questionable if you're trying to actually fix if this gentleman is in shadow form and needs to be transmogrified back into a human.
You guys all of a sudden hear a loud crow sound coming from nearby, and you see Felix lunging at the bird, but the bird kicks his ass and gets away.
They're very smart.
Here's a question. Not knowing the answer to this, we know that he was going for the tablets, and we threw our coats over the tablets to get control of them, to give us something to hold on to. Would it work if we threw something over him? A sheet over him? Would that give him enough solidity that we could affect him?
I don't think so.
Oh, as long as we don't cut holes in it, he won't be able to see.
But he
Where's
doesn't need to see. He can just flow through it. He goes through walls. He goes through doors. That's
We
how
would-
he achieved most of his effect.
I think we're gonna need to find an abattoir, a butcher.
For you mean a crow
bird.
killer?
I mean,
That'd be best way of getting blood without having to kill crow ourselves.
Well, you better be on your game, because these crows are not your average crow.
they're smart.
No. That's why we go to butcher,
Well,
because we get blood.
can I sort of interject that crows are about on the same level as rats as far as you're concerned? Living in London, they're everywhere, and they're just a fucking nuisance. So you
Well, I don't wanna
don't think about, oh, I don't want to kill the poor crow. Fuck.
I just don't want to run into that same crow. That dude's serious business.
Do you need first aid, Felix?
No, maybe for my pride, if you've got something that'll heal that.
Speaking of assistance for you, might I suggest that you phone your charming residence and have one of your fellows come to drive Getaway, should we wish to leave these premises quickly after we enter that home?
I guess I could. If I can see if Hoke's around.
Right here, sir. He appears out of- Already anticipated that you'd have a problem, sir. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. I'll call up Belvedere and have him bring Hoke down to be prepped and ready to go.
Yes, it might be useful to have someone on the outside who's not immediately in danger. As far as killing crows,
Is there a stop in Armoire or whatever Cyrus had said?
Abattoir.
Like a quickie abattoir?
A butcher.
Yeah, can I get one of those on the way by? Maybe they could just pick up a. Now it has to be the blood of a black bird, right?
that is as I interpreted it, yes.
Do you think we can get a whole unbutchered crow or two?
But they got those at the butcher shop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem I have with this theory. I don't think anyone eats crow willingly.
Yeah.
I think
Pretty
poor
sure-
people might.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they're not going to be carrying crow.
Yeah.
And how many crows does it take to get any amount of blood?
One. They all have blood. Is there any kids around? You want to make $5? Wait a minute.
Pounds.
Get me a crow.
50p.
Let me finish that statement. It came out creepy.
Now, I think, yeah. And you said there was a park adjacent.
Yes, there is a park nearby.
It shouldn't take very long for 5 adult men to find a crow in a park.
It wouldn't
And-
take you any time at all. There's definitely crows there. Now catching one, that's
Right. Well, Felix has taught me this ingenious method involving coats. Or is anyone carrying a pistol?
I am.
Yeah.
Luger.
I
That
have-
would not be a good idea.
Between
say
the two
quote.
of you,
we're about to
Well,
break into
yeah.
the house. We probably don't want to put a gunshot out just yet.
let's try the subtle approach first. A sack of corn, park crow, crackers, bread, pounce, If that doesn't work, you just pop one. Anyway, we need the blood.
That's solid. That's sound reasoning, and I'm 100% behind that.
Firing again in the city would be illegal.
Right.
Yes, that's undesirable. That's why
How
we're
about
starting with the
throw a
trap.
rock at the thing?
Oh, yeah, it's faster than that. No, if we surround it, if we feed one or two, we might be able to throw a coat over.
There's probably groups of them.
I've got an idea.
Murders of them.
I have an idea, and you know how these work.
Never failing.
Now, obviously, I don't want to tangle with these assholes again, so I'm going to go around to the back of the group of crows. Because I think I see one right over there. There's a good
2 or
group.
3 of them over there, yeah.
All right,
They're
so if
wandering
you
around
guys will get your coats and just have them at the ready, I'll go behind them, or behind the majority of them, and I'll run up waving my arms, and I'm going to flush them all to you.
I know what we can do.
Throw your coat. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen, and throw your coat and see if you can get 1 or 2 on the ground. Then you just punch it one time.
Let's go to the merchants and buy a BB gun.
In 1920?
Yep.
Yeah,
1886.
They might have had compressed air guns, but were they available readily in London? That a toy shop?
It wouldn't be at a toy shop. You'd actually get it at a hardware store or a gun store. And yes, there would be air pellet guns.
Is there? Oh, sorry. Groups of birds. Like if I threw a rock at a bird and missed, will they scare them all away?
Possibly.
While they're talking,
you might only scare the group that you threw the rock at, and the rest of them would just ignore you.
that's what I figured. While they're talking, I'm going to pick up a handful of rocks and whip it at one of these birds.
Okay, do a we'll just say a luck roll.
Oh, freaking 3.
Oh, okay. I'll say that you beat a couple of crows, and they're flopping around on the ground trying to get their composure and get away from you. But
and while they're talking, I'll just go up and
okay,
and then stand behind them while they continue the conversation.
let's say you get a couple of crows.
Like this?
Yeah.
Do we have other components for spell?
We just need the tablet that's locked up wherever you guys locked it up.
You know where it is.
No,
I just don't want to say it out loud.
Right.
Well, I guess there's a 50% chance that that's the one, or we need both.
All I heard was crow, and everything else I left up to you guys.
Well, you have the scroll.
Yeah, I'm
We
going to
have
look
the
at the scroll
scroll.
again.
Oh, we have
See what's. Can we see the scroll again? What it says?
Know this, that there are dark and evil forces that wander about in desolate places, and that there are means by which one may transform into such as these. In such a guise shall these lonely men do great mischief and devilry among the rest. And as they go mad, their violence will grow. There is a way to bind such as these with the very thing they lack, and a symbol as black in form as their accursed shape. Chains of pain. The essence of life will bind the shadow and rack it with pain. Blood is called for, but not the blood of a man, but rather the blood of a black-winged bird, a corvus. In 2 ways can this be applied. In a vial or cup, the blood must be splashed upon the shadow, or he could be tricked into stepping into a circle, drawn on the earth with the blood. He who has chosen to bind the shadow must concentrate and hold the shade in place. Its screams will be horrible. As long as the caster concentrates, the shadow will be bound, but after that it will be released.
So if we got enough crows, all of us has a cup except for one person who is casting the spell. With all of us having blood, I mean, you're going to have to get more than one crow to get enough to actually throw anywhere. But if we can get enough blood, it should be no problem splashing him with it.
Well, there are 2 there are two mechanisms there. One is the splash, and the other, and we could have done the splash if we'd had it at Lady Nichols' house.
Yes,
all
we
were
could
close
do a
enough.
circle. I know what you're saying. We could do a circle, but the splash will be so much easier.
Well, except that the splash requires confrontation, and the circle, if we are interpreting the scroll correctly, does not. As long as it's encircled, the one who's concentrating wouldn't necessarily even need to be inside, which would be a lot safer, I would think.
And we'd still need to know what to do with it once we have it trapped.
Well, that's why we need both of the tablets to use the inscription that undoes what was done to make the man a shadow.
Now you've seen the tablets, and they're all written in cuneiform.
So we're gonna need to get the tablets, have Reginald read, transcribe them. So maybe we could use, if we know he hid the other tablet, we could trap it in a circle, get the other tablet and leave, and then you could transcribe it, and then we'll know how to destroy him.
Hey, Reginald, here's a question. In reading the tablets, does it turn him back to human, or does it give him some kind of power?
My impression from the translation I did in the museum basement was that it was a way to cure the shadow of
Then let me
his
ask you a
condition.
question.
So he would return to being a normal man.
Why don't we give him the scrolls and let him turn himself to be normal? Then he's susceptible to guns.
Well, I suggested to him that we wanted to help him return to normalcy, and he attacked me brutally. And the scroll, the chest itself said that the spell that causes the magical condition drives a human mad. So I think it might be too late to convince him that
You
it
don't
would be
have
healthier.
to. You don't have to. He's dying to get the scrolls to do it himself anyway.
He's dying to have control of them. I don't know that that means that he's eager to relinquish the power that he has, or that he's sane enough to choose to use it that way.
According to what he said out of his own mouth, he wants to turn back human again.
But here's something to consider, that he might want to turn back human, but he now will have ability to become shadow form, then become human. And every time, he may not realize, especially now that he's losing his mental capacities, that it will destroy him. But he might have that burning desire to wreak mischief using both. And then we have a lot of trouble.
I can shoot pretty fast.
Do we really want to shoot? Because this gentleman might truthfully not be such a bad person, and it's all because of his condition that he is acting the way he is. And if
a condition we can't cure.
Well, we condition we can cure, but not with his cooperation under the current circumstances. We have the ability to cure it as long as I can read the text correctly, and at least as correctly as he can.
But if he needs both tablets, then he's out one, and he's going to be looking for one that
he's going to be looking, and he's very violent.
Maybe best if we have him come to us, and we have everything prepared for him.
Right. Well, there's that bit about trekking him into the circle of blood, but frankly, I think it's better to just circle him with blood.
All right, you want to get him in a circle? Put a tablet on the ground. Not the tablet, a tablet that looks roughly similar. He's going to go to it to investigate. He's now inside the circle.
But we need both in order to enact the cure that we need. We don't know of any other way to destroy this thing.
Well, no, I'm not suggesting use the scroll that he wants. I'm saying a scroll. I mean, from a distance, surely all scrolls are going to look the same.
No, what I'm meaning is that he has one of the two tablets inside his home. If we in fact have found his lair, so we need to get inside to read both.
Felix?
How much of this has Bolifius heard?
Well, you guys are standing outside. You're
We're in a park across the street, unless he's got special shadow hearing.
He's a special shadow.
Felix, I hope he's heard none, and yet I cannot prove that. Would you like to have this conversation in France, and we'll come back after a holiday?
Oh no.
what? Did I roll dice and you guys freaked out?
Yep.
How far away are you from Bolethius's house?
We're in the park.
touching crows.
We don't
So-
know how far the park is from his house.
You're in the park.
There are hedgerows and trees and
Say there's
and
a,
crows
you're at
cawing.
least 100 feet away from his house.
Oh, I'd say 50 yards.
Okay. Everybody do a listen roll.
Is no listen.
No.
Ooh,
Standard
13.
success.
13.
Okay, so who got the best roll? Fuller?
What? I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Fuller, as you guys are standing there talking, you think way off in the distance, you hear a man yell. It's
What
like,
did?
it
What
sounds like
direction?
it sounds like a yell of anguish coming from the direction of the house.
Hmm. Well, guys, we might have been made. Let's tell them what I heard. Do you hear that?
Were there words?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it was just a cry of like utter anguish.
Did it sound like the same voice that was in the
It's a long
And-
way
and-
away. It
and
definitely
Nichols?
sounded like a man's voice, though.
I say we bring him to, we leave message, bring him to us, and deal with him on our terms. He
Yeah,
will
but we-
come. He needs tablet.
And we need the other tablet.
I think he only wants this tablet to control his condition. We
Well, at least get
need
back
it
human.
to stop him. Yes, but if he doesn't become human, we lose the ability to control the situation at all. Those are two handsome birds. How'd you do that?
I threw rocks.
Oh, like Huckleberry Finn.
Barbaric.
Hmm.
Should we like squeeze
Now
them
let's see.
into a flask?
Those two between them must weigh, I don't know, 3 pounds.
Probably.
Very glossy.
Big damn crow.
3 pounds is pretty light. And they're mostly blood because their bones are hollow and their feathers are light. But I have no idea how big a circle that blood will make. And how big, so his estate is fenced? It's a pretty big house too.
Pretty much like everything, but it's just it's a block wall with little metal parts on the top, but it's not locked or anything. There's a gate, but you could walk right through the gate.
Cyrus, do you want to try to get a couple more, or have you scared them all away? I don't want to have too shallow wall. I assume it's all grass too on the inside.
There's a little garden, little flower gardens. There is some grass. It's like a stone walkway up to the house.
It could take
Yeah, I
100
think-
crows to circle the house.
That is true.
Yeah, but who's
And it takes us
counting
forever to get them.
So you'd prefer to invite the shadow out of its lair where it's hiding a tablet, anywhere in a manor house, and hope to fool it, quickly finishing a circle, rather than just circling its house. I don't understand the logic of that.
No, I'm saying splash it.
Before we do any of it, can we just walk around his house? Because unless he left a window open or a door, he's not able to get the tablet through the doors or the windows to get into his house. He couldn't even get out of the lady's room.
But I
Good
bet he's
idea.
got an attic portal or something. He's got some place. I mean, he's got the other 4 tablets.
We'd be able to see it from here, though.
What if he took it to the chimney?
Oh,
Hmm.
I didn't see the chimney. That's
That is possible.
that is.
No,
There's
I do.
probably 3 or 4 chimneys too. So
The shadow did not lock itself into an impermeable chamber.
Out of curiosity, what do the chimneys look like? I mean, I would imagine at this time they'd be like a clay tube with a lid over them.
I don't know. You have Mary Poppins. One of the main characters is a chimney sweep, so they're big enough to go down.
Huh.
They're certainly big enough for a shadow to slip down.
Now, is there a lot of people in the park, or
No, it's there's not much going on in the park.
can I go sit next to a tree, finish off what's in my flask, and start juicing these birds into the flask, or see how
Sure.
much blood one holds?
Yeah. It's
See what we're working with here.
it's somewhat nasty business, obviously, but you get a few ounces of blood from each one.
That's
Having
why I
fun
finished off
milking-
the flask before I did it to steal my constitution.
Milking crows, that should be a skill.
Or a band.
Well, you cut their throats, and you imagine you can get quite a bit of blood.
Yeah, the sooner the better too. If you can get a good nick while the heart's still pumping, it'll do the work for you. Otherwise, you've got to.
That's true.
I wonder if it has to be 100% blood or if you can add a little water to thin it out.
I wouldn't want to be the thin spot of the magical fence.
I agree.
I'm going to say that you get a fairly substantial amount of blood, not enough to go around the house.
No, I figured that, but I just wanted to see.
Yeah. Keep shaking it up too. We don't want to congeal into some sort of pudding. Gentlemen, my thoughts are these. We're going to need to retrieve the second tablet in order to, if our intention is to undo this transformation, and my understanding is correct, we'll need both tablets to do it. So we have a little time to collect some more crow juice, because we have to go back to the club to retrieve the tablet.
What are you saying, that one of us holds him in the circle and then another one of us casts the spell to change him back, maybe?
Well, that's an interesting approach. I mean, presumably, since I'm the reader of cuneiform, I'll have to be the one or among those to go inside the house.
Yes.
And also we'll need the one that's in the safe place. Maybe we should try to gird him in this place before we even begin that, because once we begin that, he'll be on guard. But I might be missing some very obvious thought.
I don't mind going in with you, but I'm not much for spells and voodoo stuff, so.
I quite understand. The question, I mean, Fuller seems to hope to encircle the beast in a smaller place that's more convenient. But I don't know what's more convenient than where we think he already is, although we could be mistaken.
Now, I suggest you splash him with it. Instead of making a circle, you splash it on him. It's the easiest thing to do. And if we all had a little bit of blood, it'd be very hard for him to get away from that many of us.
So you think that we should nab a couple more blackbirds? Each of us should be equipped with a dose or two of their blood, and somewhere in the process we retrieve the tablet from where it's hidden, and then we just barge into the house, and when he attacks we douse it and then attempt the spell.
That seems to be the easiest way to do it. Because first of all, if you do a circle, you have to draw the circle. You have to get him from wherever he is to that circle. Now, we're assuming he doesn't know what that circle means. But what if he knows that that circle is a trap?
At the same time, if we enter his home, he'll also assume that he's under attack. Whereas if we could just make a large loop of blood around this block and he couldn't get out of it, that would be safer.
If that's what you want to do, we can do that. But if we were in a room and we were coming after you and you were trying to attack us or escape, what do you think my odds would be to take a can of Coke and splash on you?
No, you're right. I mean, I wish we'd had a bunch of raven blood and Lady Nichols' home.
10 of Coke.
Okay.
Yes,
bottle of whiskey. Bottle of whiskey. Actually, Coke was around.
Yeah, but not in cans.
Hey, you guys. While you guys were down here planning the world around your elbow, I went up to the front porch and took a little listen. The door's locked, of course, but up top, I heard something in the attic or upstairs, and there's also a broken window up top. So I think I know where he came in.
Yeah, he probably just flew through the window and broke it. I didn't even think about that until you said it broke a window.
I was thinking maybe he went down the chimneys.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too. But he was panicked and pissed, angry. So
well, if he's carrying a scroll, he might be able to go through glass, but the scroll won't. So it would smash the glass.
Tablet.
It's a big, heavy tablet. He could just fly right through and take the window out with him, which is probably what he did.
And to be honest, if we heard a scream earlier, chances are that was him because he busted his own window. You know how expensive that is to fix?
Or somebody seeing him, a ghost break through a window. One of the two.
Oh, a big flying stone tablet busting through a window would probably cause a scream on the.
Well, and also when he parted, he was in some anguish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He wants this tablet very desperately. I mean, the other tablet.
He's going to come after us eventually.
Well, he doesn't.
And we're right here.
We're under some leafy oaks in a park. So I think it comes down to a matter of vote, unless somebody has other intelligence. Do we want to attempt to make a circle that holds him into the house, or barge in?
Why don't my suggestion would be to kick in the door, look for the scroll, and run like hell, and let him find us. When he finds us, we'll be prepared.
Yeah, there's 5 of us. We can go 5 different directions. He doesn't know who actually has the tablet.
I mean, I don't want to put anybody in mortal danger if he gets his hands around the throat or something, but we're losing daylight too.
There is other alternative. We could try to see if he's willing to parlay and work up deal with him. I mean, he may be that desperate that we're also assuming he'll be violent to us. Maybe if we can prove to him that we could do it, we may be able to do it with very little trouble. And if he tries anything, we have the blood to douse him with.
Yeah, but the only thing he probably wants is the other scroll tablet, and the only thing we want is the other tablet. So we could
Well, we
just
both
trade
want
out
him. We want
tablets
to
all
fix
day.
him. We both want to fix him. Yes.
That's true.
So let's try. I would say, I say we try to leave message that we want to fix this and we're willing to work it out. He might have a moment of clarity to read it. If he doesn't, then we know that he's violent, and we can take things on a more aggressive approach.
This may be a method to entrap him, but I think
Possibly.
that he's already indicated that his intentions are not to simply return to a mundane state. He is a bit power mad,
Maybe.
fundamentally dangerous. If your approach, which I think is very humane and reasonable, were effective, and he proved to be incorrigible, and we were ready with some raven's blood and could solve the problem ourselves, I'd be happy with that. But that, I don't think it's very likely that he's looking to be relieved of the power that he is assumed. He seems to enjoy it.
Well, we get him in back to his usual human form, then we have better control over him, because who is he then? If he
That
actually
is
wants
an assumption, as Fuller said earlier. Who knows? I think it was Fuller. It might have been Felix. Who knows? Maybe his even in his solid corporeal form, he'll have new abilities or whatnot. It's not for us to say. It's simply, gentlemen, for me, it's a question of whether we do it here or whether we try to draw him somewhere else.
he's going to find us eventually to get tablets, so let's bring him on our own terms. That way we don't have to mess around with his place.
But this place is where the second tablet is. We have to go in here regardless.
He'll have to bring it, or he'll have to try and get ours.
He would be happy to take ours and then bring it to where the other one was, which doesn't have to be here. He doesn't yet know necessarily that we know where he lives or live.
I have a feeling he knows we're here.
Gentlemen, a vote. I say we attempt to trap him in his own home.
I don't think we could get enough blood to circle the house. I just don't see how that's possible.
And someone needs to maintain the spell, and that might be a lot more difficult doing a very large circle, not just with the blood, but with if this thing actually works. I mean, what could it do to you?
Well, ideally, the person who is maintaining the spell would be outside of the circle.
Yes, but it's
thus untouchable by the creature.
Keep in mind, Reginald, you're the only one of us that reads cuneiform, so that puts you as a spellcaster. Unless you want to keep somebody.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could translate it and write it out phonetically, if it would work. I don't know. I'm assuming either way that I'm inside the circle. It's just a question of whether or not we build a circle here, go inside with as much crow blood as we can carry individually, a couple of bottles each in our pockets.
We wouldn't be able to get these done today. We'd have to wait. We'd have to come back later.
That's not a problem. He doesn't know. He can't get it out of where it is. He can only carry things through open spaces.
You guys, we can be the circle. We don't need a ton of blood. You just make a stripe down your hand, across your front, into your other hand. We get around him. We join hands. He's now in a circle.
He has a point.
Yes, but why not just make a circle around the damned house?
There's so many crows.
It would take too long, and he might try something. Put us at bad disadvantage.
You would have enough. You'd have to have enough blood to make a circle 300 or 400 feet all the way around his house.
No, only so many rats. flying rats. Also, I mean, Felix, again, loved that code idea.
I can't even remember the code idea now.
You throw it over the tablets.
Oh, back at the other lady's house?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been talking about so much more since then.
You know, I was pretty fortunate to be able to make sense of the chest that the tablets came in the basement of the museum. It might take me hours to
I lean in
translate.
and whisper, I've got the idea. Yes. What if we get a large cloth soaked in the raven's blood, and we put it over a shadow?
Well, apparently we just need to splash it.
It'd be like splashing.
Yeah. It seems
And we
easy.
also hold it and we pull it, and it would be a lot more controllable that way.
If
You
I
might not even
understand,
need to do a circle.
The only thing is that the only thing that makes the crow's blood a danger to him is actually the spell, not the blood itself.
That's true. Then we have spellcaster hold down, blood-soaked cloth over him, just like God. He is trapped. He's controlled.
well, I don't think we need. I mean, again, if I understood the scroll correctly, as long as the blackbird's blood is on the shadow, all that is required is one person's concentration.
Ah,
So anything extraneous, if I understand preposterous pre-modern magic, is extraneous. The things we need, as far as I'm concerned, are to be safe from the thing and to give me time to read both tablets to correct its conditions. Which means we need both tablets to be in the same place, which means we want to control him first, because if we don't have control, he's going to beat the heck out of us again, throttle me, throw you downstairs. So
it is method of control.
So if you want, we can.
I'd say we go
We
back
can
to
kill a few more birds and then go inside the house and try to capture him. Because I agree, you know, it's going to take a lot of birds to surround the house, and I don't know how big a circle counts. The scroll does.
Honestly, this head-on approach here may not be the best way to handle this.
If you splash it and say whatever words, it hurts it. If the thing comes out, we go in the house, it comes out as you splash it, say the words, it hurts it. We try and find the tablet. We find it or we don't, and we get the hell out of there. I mean, we're overcomplicating it. We can't get rid of them until we know how to get rid of them. This thing is just to keep it at bay or to hurt it. If it's in a circle, it keeps it at bay. If it splashes it, it hurts them. If it hurts them, it'll distract them or whatever the case may be. Give one of us time to find the tablet and hightail it back home. I mean, it's either that or I don't know what the other option is. I'm not discrediting anybody else's thoughts or ideas, but
I hate to say it, but I think you're correct at this junction, and just to get the tablet so we can actually read it and translate it so that we can do something.
And I agree with Reginald's idea about circling the house, but we need gallons and gallons of blood, and I don't know if I could stomach squeezing out that many birds. So.
And it would be seen, and it would take too much time.
Okay, the scroll seems to say that the chains of pain, it implies by the chains of pain that it roots the thing to the spot and racks it with pain, and that it can't get away until your concentration wavers.
I wonder if we could get multiple people knowing the spell and we just kind of take over for each other, let one do it for a while and the next guy comes in. I wonder if that would work.
I don't speak. Is it in another language?
You don't have to recite anything.
Oh.
You have to just concentrate.
There's no spell, it's concentration. The spell part is in the cuneiform that I have to have time to translate. The challenge seems to be that the crying and pain of the thing is probably as draining as the dreams that we get from our old golden friend.
So should we
That's the problem.
split this flask? I have a silver flask of the blood. Does anybody else want some of it? I don't really. You guys take it. I'm not gonna.
I'll take some of it.
Again, if you're the Huckleberry Finn, kill a couple more birds. Let's not be sparing.
All right, I'll try and
we
get
want to
some
be
more
able to
birds.
splash
But
freely.
when we go in there, I'm gonna take it upon myself to try and just get the tablet. It's big and it's heavy, and I'll run with it. I have the strength and the endurance to do that. I'm not gonna worry about trying to splash a ghost.
And it's upstairs in the attic, more than likely, because that's
The question.
It's 3 stories high. You're pretty sure it's just on the 2nd or 3rd level.
Yeah, gotcha.
The question is whether I should go to where. I don't want to go and get the other tablet until we know he's bound. So should I go in and help search for the one that he's holding? Probably.
I just had a morbid thought, but if you want to put a little bit of blood around your necks in case it goes to choke you, I don't know if that'll work or it won't work, but
that's very unpleasant, but rather clever.
I'm gonna throw some more rocks at some birds.
Yeah,
maybe kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. It's a big rock. It's a very little rock, but it hits both of them.
It bounces. I skip it like off the
We'll
pond.
say you end up ultimately with 5 ounces of blood.
All right.
You fill up your flask. Is your flask made out of copper or
silver?
Silver. Okay. So not glass.
No.
If you throw it, it's not going to shatter.
I'm sure we could just buy a whiskey bottle somewhere if you wanted to do that, but then it'll pass through him.
Well, let's each take a handkerchief and moisten it and put some of that on it, so we have an individual weapon. Something we can press or smear. I like the neck idea, yes, although it'll dry soon. Yeah, a little aftershave, quite.
Door open.
All right. That was a long conversation for a simple question, but we are in mortal danger.
I'm curious. If you had whichever one of us is going to cast the spell, I'm just going to take and say Reginald. If the others of us had the crow's blood on our hands, would we be able to punch him? Beat him into submission? I don't suppose that would work.
You never know. But it's trial and error. So I say we just go and try and error.
Yeah, the scroll doesn't specify anything except that the contact is painful and stills it. And I assume that, if 2 or 3 or more parties continued to apply the blood and concentrate, that it could not escape, but it will make it sounds of anguish. But I don't think it has to be the same person as long as someone is concentrating and the blood is present.
There's nothing to indicate that it can't be done multiple times.
All right.
I'm going to rip apart one of my handkerchiefs and before you go in the house, just stuff my ears. Maybe if this thing is screaming like a banshee, maybe it'll help deaden the sound a little.
And if it makes a mouth once it's covered in blood, we can try to stuff that mouth as well, because I don't want all the posh neighbors to come looking while I'm trying to translate ancient languages.
Now, is there a back door that we can kick in?
Sure.
I would. We can't do anything here other than get tablet. What do you mean translate here on site?
Well, I assume that. I mean, again, there's one tablet here. There's one tablet hidden in a safe place. I don't want to go to the safe place until we have the tablet here.
I agree.
Because I don't want the thing flying out and.
Well, let's get it, grab it, and go.
Yes, but I don't think we're going to move the shadow. I think we're going to bring the other tablet here after we find one here. Does that make sense?
Correct.
All right.
So, yeah, servant's entrance. Felix, you'll pop that lock, I'm sure.
I will attempt to pop that lock
How are you gonna? What do you mean, pop the lock? You're gonna try to
with
break one?
a pick. Actually,
You're gonna try to pick
I'll
one.
try it first, just in case.
All right.
Is it locked?
Yes, it's locked.
All right, let's pick it.
All right, go ahead.
That's not good. 75 on 41. That's not good.
So it proves very difficult.
Cyrus, you want to kick this thing?
Absolutely. I've been the magic words. 16. Too shy of an extreme. Strength roll, right?
Yeah, strength roll.
Too shy of an extreme. If I need to spend the 2 points, I will.
All right. Well, you kick the door right next to the handle, and it practically caves in, and makes a hell of a noise.
Do we hear upstairs a rustling when that goes, like once it busts in?
Do a listen roll.
Regular pass.
Yeah. You hear a definite reaction from upstairs.
Yeah, I think you heard us, Cyrus. We better move. Let's get up there.
Go in through the door and see what's around.
Again, I think we should move close together, and we should keep the whatever mechanism of blood transmission we have very much handy. If he can only attack one of us, then we're in his own home, then we're in great danger. But if one of us can freeze him in place, we're in good shape.
Okay. You move into you're kind of in the kitchen area, but you move through the doors into the main area where there's stairs, rather ornate looking stairs. Now you can see that things have been smashed all around you, and there's a bad smell. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say maybe it's his body.
Can we open some I want to open some curtains while we're cruising through to light the place up so we don't step on anything gross.
All right. Well, when you open up the windows, I'd like the rest of you to do spot hidden.
Oh, yes. I got a critical.
There is a body lying at the bottom of the stairs. There are flies all around it. It's dressed as a butler, and it looks like something pummeled it and smashed its head against the post at the bottom of the stairs. And
the old banister smash.
It's probably been dead for 5 days, 6 days, maybe.
Oh, we can't get blamed for this.
Well, and this has been going on longer than that, so definitely looks like a servant, an old man.
Poor bastard.
Bad business.
I start looking around.
Okay. You hear a noise upstairs, and at the top of the stairs, you definitely see a shadow move, and a voice rings out and says, "You, where's my tablet?" And the shadow you see suddenly comes rushing down the stairs towards you. With a posh accent.
Thank you for clarifying.
I say, what are you doing here?
I say, you again.
2, 4, 5.
Lads, blood.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's heading for Cyrus. Okay, Cyrus was like the closest one to the stairs at that moment.
I told you I splashed some blood on me, but I'm gonna try and yell out, like scream out and use persuade. But we're here to help you.
By the time you yell it out, it's almost
already on me.
top of you.
All right.
Perfect.
It's going to attempt to punch you. So you can dodge if you want.
All right. 68.
It got an extreme 09. So it throttles you.
D4?
Yeah, D4. So you see it hit Cyrus, and Cyrus keels over.
4 points, dude. I took it like a champ.
All right. Now, while it is attacking Cyrus, I'm going to splash it with the blood.
Okay, do a throw roll.
Throw.
I have a good throw.
Now we're all moving in a group with the intention of not being separated, and we have put it blood on cloth so we could apply it manfully.
I missed it by 1. Can I use luck?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'll use luck.
All right. So Fuller, you splash it, and you see that the blood actually sticks to the shadow. You can see that it's like there's a wet spot where the blood has hit it. What do you do, Fuller?
I can see where the blood is stuck there
Right.
on it. Pull out my gun and shoot it in this wet spot.
Oh, okay. You're going to fire your gun,
No.
but you're not concentrating. So the gun hits the bullet hits the wall and splash and hits the thing.
Yo, watch that.
What the heck are you doing?
That went through my sleeve.
Cyrus, you're knocked down. Felix, what are you doing?
I'm going to jump over the body and run up the stairs. I'm going to try to get to the attic or look on the second floor and to scramble to try to find that tablet.
Okay. Vadim, what do you do?
Take him out a little measure of crow's blood that was given to me, splash it on him, apply my hand, and concentrate on pain.
Okay. So I'm going to get, let's say, since you're really close, just do a luck roll. Okay.
Standard luck.
Now, here's the way it works. Do a 1d4 for sanity point damage from using magic.
1 point.
Okay. You lose 6 points of magic points. Okay.
Okay.
And you're going to lose 1 magic point per round. Now, if you exhaust all of your magic points in so many rounds, you can continue, but then you're losing hit points instead of magic points. Okay. So how many rounds do you have where you can use it before you start taking hit points?
I'm having a look here.
Your magic -6 to start the spell.
Okay, -6, I'll be 10. So I got 10 rounds.
Okay. All right. When you do that, it almost, it's like it's frozen in the spot, and it begins howling, like as if you were torturing somebody to death. The thing is, like just it's horrible. Jason.
My nose is gushing blood.
Yeah.
It looks like we're playing in the ICU.
Reginald, what do you do?
Seeing that Vadim has the thing held in place, is Vadim also screaming?
No. He's
And
just
Very, very
like
concentrated.
The thing doesn't have gained any solidity. It's just still a wisp of a shadow, except where the...
In fact, you can see that at this point it looks a little wispier than it did earlier at the house.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, since there's no way to silence it that I know of, there's no mouth to stuff a bloody rag in, I'm going to chase Felix up the stairs in search of the tablet we need.
Okay. And Fuller?
Hmm. I'm wondering if you have to be the one to throw the blood on the creature for it to work. So I concentrate on the creature to see
Um,
if I can help.
it feels like you're just make-believing, like
Yeah,
nothing's actually happening.
I figured as much. My bad.
All right, so you're standing there. Felix, you run up the stairs, and it becomes very obvious that there's like a sitting room. And as you go inside, you notice the tablet is lying on the floor, and there's a candle burning next to it, and a piece of parchment. And it looks like he was in the process of trying to translate it, but he didn't get very far, just maybe one line out of 100 lines. It looks like he's struggling to translate it.
I'm gonna scoop up that piece that he was translating on, the piece of paper, all the work he'd already done,
Okay.
shove that in my pocket, and then grab the tablet.
Okay. So you're grabbing the tablet. Cyrus, you've managed to pull yourself together, but now when I see the guy screaming, it's not preternaturally horrible. It's just like you're torturing somebody to death. Okay. So one round's down. We're on the second round.
Is it loud, like neighbors can hear?
Well, it sounds like you're murdering somebody in the house.
And there was a gunshot, so we need to get the hell out of here as soon as possible.
Okay, so what are you going to do?
I'm gonna yell up to Felix. Everything okay up there?
Yep, all good.
Now I'm gonna just put my attention back on, make sure that things not moving.
Okay. Reginald, what would you like to do?
I assume that I've achieved the second floor, and there's Felix with a scroll in one hand and the tablet in the other.
Right. And you probably get there just as you see him picking up the tablet.
All right.
You can also see, let me think for a moment. You can also see that there are two other tablets.
That makes sense. And you said downstairs that things were smashed.
Yeah, like the
With
other place,
general-
it looks like he's been incredibly angry and violent, even in his own place. And it looks like he murdered his servant in the process.
Clearly, yeah. All right. Felix, let me take those. And I think we have some of the others. Grab that and that. I don't think we can contain the thing for very long.
That's right. Folk waiting outside.
And I need to get out of here. So I'm going to grab the paper and the thing and go downstairs.
Reginald, do a spot hidden as you're standing there.
Oh, a delightful 14 for 60. So
Very
it's
nice.
almost extreme.
So as you're grabbing those, you notice that, like I said, there are two cuneiform tablets. These are obviously the first two. And there is a translation.
Is there an Abu?
There's not. There's a translation that's next to them on what looks like a paper that would be rather expensive. That translation looks, how shall I say it, very careful, as if it would have taken a person a while. And you also notice a couple of books, one of which is rather famous, Sir Thomas Herbert's book on his travels in Africa, which has his knowledge about how to translate cuneiform. 1638. You're probably familiar with it. Everybody would be. There's also a book by William Punchin from 1911, a treaty on Sumerian and Akkadian language, which for you is, I mean, it's a fairly new book. It's only, 10 years old.
That should help a great deal. So I'll try to scrabble those up.
Okay.
Is the place is dusty, I assume?
Oh, just a little bit. Yeah. Mostly
Yeah,
crashed.
the serpent's only 5 days dead. Those are very helpful books to find. Are there other artifacts like that are not tablets that seem interesting?
It does look like he had his own collection, which is actually in better condition than anybody else's collection that you've seen so far. Obviously, he knew that he didn't have the other tablets. So no need to smash.
Right.
However,
but again, there's no Naboo. There's nothing that stands out as
correct.
specifically interesting to me and part of our cause.
Correct.
And after all, I'll be able to buy these things at the estate sale soon anyway. Sadly. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to grab those books and materials and flee the building.
Okay. So let's say round 3. You're going back down the stairs. Felix, you were also going down the stairs. Cyrus, what do you do?
I feel if this thing gets free and goes to attack one of the others, I need to be there. That's the reason why I never left.
Okay.
I'm kind of like the big puncher bag right now.
Do a spot hidden for me then.
All right. Ooh, oh freaking 4.
As you're standing there watching this, it's horrific. The shadow moves as if it's in absolute agony. But as you're watching, you notice that the tears and rips and holes in it are growing larger, as if you are physically damaging it. Not you.
Right, but it's being damaged.
Right.
I'm not even going to say anything with it. I'm just I just want to make sure it doesn't get free, and I have my vial of blood out in case it does. I just feel that I kind of need to be where I'm at right now.
Okay. All right. So, Fuller.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna stick by Cyrus.
Okay. You see Reginald and Felix coming down the stairs with bundles, and they're kind of struggling because the tablets weigh quite a bit and the books.
Oh, once they get down to our level, I plan on grabbing stuff. I'm not being,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll help out.
All right. So let's see how do you split this up?
Just give me whatever's heavy.
Well, okay. We'll just make it easy. You guys have 3 tablets. You have 2 big books. And Vadim is standing there doing this. And the thing is starting to tear itself apart. You're seeing wisps of it falling off as if it was disintegrating.
Do it and get out.
I'll grab one of the books. I'm not super strong, so a book would be more my size than a big clay tablet.
I grab whatever's the heaviest.
Well, I think that I scream over the terrible howls of the thing. I think that we need my thought that I would go back and translate and bring another thing and translate seems crazy now. Let's send somebody to...
Would take you a half hour to get there anyway.
Yeah, let's send somebody to the club optimistically, but let's focus on staying here and holding this thing. And
I can't hold it for very long. It's very
Exactly.
difficult.
Exactly. Let's
Take these tablets.
I grabbed them from Felix.
Reginald, do a spot hidden for me.
29 is hard.
Okay.
Oh no, it's just. Oh no, it is just under 30.
You can see the tablets that you've got, and you can tell that that's not really the Akkadian that you're used to. It would take you quite a bit of time to translate them. You've got translations of the first two, and a very very partial one of the second one.
And we've got the text that will help.
Right.
But mostly we're going to stay here and evaporate this creature.
Yeah, you're guessing it would even take that thing a couple of weeks maybe to translate that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So as you're standing there, and the thing is writhing in agony, and I think you should all do sanity rolls.
Yes.
As you're watching this.
Ooh, no.
Just do 1d4 if you fail.
Complete failure.
Take 1 if you pay it pass, but 1d4 if you fail.
2 points I took.
I took 4.
Something starts to happen to this thing. Where the holes in its shadow are, you start to see light, like colored light, sort of glowing. And at first it's like just around the ripped and torn edges, but then it's like little balls of colored light. And the colored light is kind of hard to look at. It's not bright, but it's confusing to look at. And the thing starts writhing, and you hear it suddenly say, the light! I can see the light! I can see it! And it just sounds like it's insane. And it just all of a sudden fades away, and there's nothing there.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about running into him again.
And everything goes quiet.
We need to skedaddle. We made more noise than a herd of moose running through a china shop.
But there's one more floor that we didn't get to.
I think we can, Felix, have a look around. I'll, the house phone, if it's still wired in, can connect us to the constabulary. There's a
Vadim,
5-day-old corpse here.
Vadim, you can feel there's nothing there anymore.
I know, but Vadim's just like totally in shock over this whole thing. This is like a complete paradigm shift for him. He's just totally out of it in awe and wonder.
It is proof, Vadim, that there is more again than we ever understood. So yes, let's, Felix, maybe Cyrus, if you want to explore the house, we'll wait for the cops to show up.
Yeah, call your friend at the yard, and then we can go explore.
I assume at some point he's going to be a bit annoyed that I phone him every few days with another hopeless case. But at least he knows where they are. Eventually the butler's going to rot through to the basement, and that's no good.
All right.
So I'll make that call.
Well, let's say it takes you 30 minutes to search the rest of the house, and you don't find anything significant.
I'm going to secrete, of course, the books that I've already found. And there's nothing else in his library that's of interest?
Not really.
It's worth the look.
Are you all going to stay there until the police arrive?
No.
I will.
We should probably take the items we want from here and leave, so it's not part of evidence.
Yep.
Yeah. If one of you will take the tablet and these books off to the club. Fuller and I'll stay and explain that we were visiting because of something, an urgent call that we got.
And I need to go reset my nose at this point, so.
All right. Just for the sake of time, police arrive. You explain the situation to them once again. I know what you just said, but we'll just say, you've had an ongoing investigation going on, and you've been investigating people whose houses are broken into. You've already found dead bodies. So here's another one. You have no idea who's doing these things.
And the house is full of valuables, so
Right.
we didn't take them, and we're gentlemen, so.
And there's no body other than the butler. Mr. Ginger is missing. So you're ultimately released. And those of you who left, did you take the tablets with you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We jumped in the car with Hogue.
All right. Well, what do you do with them when you get back to the Wentworth Club? We'll assume now you're all back at the Wentworth Club the next day. What have you done with the tablets?
Well, I thought we were going to keep them split up. I was going to keep a pair of them at my place. I got a nice vault.
That sounds like a good idea. Keep the two main tablets in different locations until we feel safe.
The thing is, we don't even need the tablets themselves. We only need the translations.
No, don't we need to give the tablets to the Children of Tranquility?
That's what we agreed to. We haven't actually decided to do so as a group.
Well, at some time on the second day, Reginald, you happen to be somewhere in town. You are surprised, and maybe not that surprised, to see Mr. Azar Uddin walking up to you with a smile on his face. And he's like, Mr. Harcourt, I see that you have managed to deal with the shadow creature. Do you have the tablets?
Mr. Odin, we have some of them. And I appreciate your assistance with the scroll. I think you and your brethren have saved a number of Londoners with it. What do you intend to do with the tablets that survived?
We intend to put them in a place where nobody can get to them.
I understand that you're reticent in certain regards, but why not simply destroy them?
That may prove to be more difficult than you imagine. These sort of things carry with them some rather terrible penalties if you attempt such a thing. They're better left someplace where nobody will ever find them, where we can protect them and keep them from falling into the wrong hands.
What sort of place would that be, pray tell?
It's not a place that I would tell you about, sir.
Oh, I don't seek to find them. I seek to make certain that they are forever.
Let me just say
Out of
that the
place.
Children of Tranquility have been protecting these objects for a long time. And that if it wasn't for Mr. Thompson and his deceptions, we would still have control of them.
Wouldn't it be the safest thing then if these objects were, if not destroyed, kept far from each other, so that should the, for example, your tranquil brothers be disbanded or attacked, no one could pursue these ends. If we sent one to a ship in South America and another was plunked into the Mediterranean and one was mailed to the North Pole, wouldn't that be the safest thing?
I'm afraid there are many things in this situation that you don't understand.
Do you understand them?
Yes. They've been
But
part
you
of-
won't explain them.
I'm not at liberty to do so.
You must understand why I find that offensive. You are wise enough to put us in the position of mortal danger, but do not trust us enough to inform us about the circumstances in which we are embattled. I find that
the danger that we are in right now is far more dangerous than you can possibly imagine. Your little quest was not considered dangerous enough to warrant any of our people involved. Bring the tablets to, I don't know London that well.
Trafalgar Square.
Bring the tablets to Trafalgar Square tomorrow around noon, and we will take them off your hands. If you don't bring them, I'm afraid there will be some serious consequences.
Serious consequences like hands and feet?
We don't want any trouble with you. We're not here to cause you any kind of harm. And at that point, you notice that there are two other red-turbaned gentlemen standing about 20 feet from you and a little behind you. Says, we don't want any trouble. We mean you no harm. In fact, our position is to protect the entire world from this problem, but we are not willing to discuss it with outsiders. We don't know you that well.
How does one become an insider, Mr. Azim?
We're born into it.
Well, until Trafalgar Square.
Yes. Thank you. Good day. And he turns and he walks away. And his people walk with him.
Some of them do.
So my question is do you want to deal with Trafalgar Square? Tell me what you're going to do, and then we can end it? Or do you want to deal with that first thing next time?
Well, I think I have to talk to the fellows at the club.
All right. But is this going to be a 2-hour-long discussion?
In any case, Vadim is non grata if this is the next day, and he's never showed up. He's not there.
Well, I think we could play it out next time, but my vote is to give them the tablets.
I'll tell you what, we'll do it first thing next week. And let me just go ahead and end it with that. Our players included Jason Melnichuk, John Byram, Ford Fitch, Jerry Bryant, and David Gassaway, with yours truly as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with this show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, visit our Patreon account. Our Patreon account, just $1 or $2 a month, will help us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.